When I was 40, I decided to go back to school, and I had great bosses that encouraged me to go from the job that I was in and become a contract specialist to write contracts. And the Coast Guard put me through school, and I was able to take all these classes and courses that would enable me to further my career. And just when I was almost done with all my classes and everything, the Coast Guard lost its billets. They lost a couple of positions, which were ladder positions for me. So in order for me to become a contract specialist, I had to leave the Coast Guard and find a job elsewhere to get that ladder position, and then pray that I could go back with the Coast Guard. And that's what happened. I went to work for the VA in Brockton. I was fortunate enough, while I was there and while I was in treatment, somebody retired from the Coast Guard, and I was able to put in for that position. So I went back to the Coast Guard, to my contracting family. The Coast Guard is just so much like a family. They take care of their employees, they take care of their own. We're really a family. I worked with the best people through the years at the Coast Guard, and what they've done for me and to help me, they were on the other end. They were like the stitching of a tapestry that kept me together. It was while I was with the Coast Guard that my husband and I decided to go to a car show. And at the time, this was after I had gone through chemo. My husband has a 57 Chevy, and we decided to check out this breast cancer car show. So in actuality, it was the Gloria Gemma Breast Cancer Resource Foundation's car show. So we went with this pink 57 Chevy, and my husband's nickname is Chemo, K-I-M-O-E. And when we drove in, Gary Calvino from the foundation, his mouth dropped open, because here I was, bald from the chemo, in a pink car that said chemo. I told my husband he should have worn a white jacket. He could have been my oncologist. But that was when I first met the people at the foundation. And that very first day, they made me feel comfortable. And for the first time, I didn't feel so alone. I knew there were other women that were going through the same type of cancer. And the thing that really surprised me is I thought my cancer was very rare, and I hadn't heard of anybody else with triple negative cancer. But I found out that day that they had a woman there that had triple negative cancer. So it was all those connections that through Gloria Gemma that, really, put me in a good place. So between having a job that I loved and having the foundation behind me, that, gave me a lot of peace. I have a lot of faith, and I believe that, my higher power that I call God, he's given me so much, he or she. But I've been very blessed through the years. When I first started off with the foundation, I was a patient, and I realized all the programs that they offered women really got to take your mind off of the hideousness of the disease. That there were things, the pampering and the learning and the caring, everything that I got from the foundation helped to smooth out those rough edges. And I was so impressed by what the foundation did for me, and putting me back together like Humpty Dumpty, that I knew when I was done with my radiation and chemo that I wanted to somehow volunteer and help them out. Well, I figured I could help them out with torches, that I could help raise money for torches, because they have a huge fundraiser in October where they have the flames of hope, and survivors get to carry a torch. And the whole idea behind it, it costs $500 to carry the torch. And it's $500 because it is a fundraiser. And I said, well, I know a lot of people, and maybe I can raise more than enough money, more than one torch. So that's what I did. 2 years ago, I was able to raise enough money so that more women beside myself could carry a torch. And I just kind of was taken under, Maria Gemma and Gary's wings, Maria Gemma is like a sister to me. Our thinking is so much alike. And the way we feel, I always say that she was my sister in another lifetime. They really, are very protective of the women and the men that come across their door. They're very, very protective. And the Hope Bus, that's what it's all about for me. That's how I found the foundation, because I went on the Hope Bus at the car show and met all these people. And that's where I wanted to volunteer my time. So after the torches and I was feeling better, I started to go on the bus and work with Maureen and meet other women that are diagnosed. I have some wonderful friends at Gloria Gemma, wonderful. I love working with Maureen. I swear we were all together in another lifetime. There's 4 other women that I'm really close to. They are not Gloria Gemma women, but they're my friends, and they've been with me through thick and thin for over 10 years. We've been through everything together. We even have a little pin with these women on it, and there's 5 women together. And that's been a blessing, because if one friend is busy, there's another friend that's available. 2 of the women that I'm really close with, out of those 5 women, one is a nurse, and she's actually become my durable power of health attorney. She'll help make the medical decisions with my family. She's been with me to help me out with drains, all my surgeries, help me take baths. These are things that I never thought in a million years that people would be helping me do. But these friends step forward, and they're second to none. I'm just so blessed. I was born and bred here in Bristol, and I really have a love for our town. I'm very proud to live here. It's a beautiful, beautiful area to live. We have water. We're surrounded on 3 sides by water. I loved it so much that I had to become part of it. And one of the things that I've done, we have the oldest parade in the nation. And from when I was little, I always wanted to be on the 4th of July committee so I could help make that happen. And when I was in my early 20s, I joined the committee. And that has been such a joy to be able to put it on something and fundraise for something so big. And then to have July 4th come along and hear the first band step off. You can feel the pride, for the people around you. And I'm so proud. I get very emotional on the 4th. I think I always choke up every 4th of July. This year was the best 4th of July ever because of the fact that 2 organizations that I love so much, the Bristol 4th of July Committee and the Gloria Gemma Foundation, we're actually merging together and working as one to collect money for each other, to raise money, and to have a pre-parade with Gloria Gemma and have a float and have that representation with all the survivors. It was such an awesome, awesome thing to happen. I never thought I would be on a float, and I was on a float with other survivors. It was just it was a magical day, and I'm so grateful to both the 4th of July Committee and Gloria Gemma for letting that happen. I think it was a wonderful thing. We brought breast cancer awareness to a lot of people, and to me, that's what's most important. Well, Bristol County has the highest mortality and incident rate. Why that is, I don't know, but the whys I can't do anything about. But there are no services. There weren't any services here to help women that have been newly diagnosed with cancer. And like Gloria Gemma's on the other side of the bridge. And for all of us that live on this side of the bridge, I wouldn't have found out about them had it not been for a car show, I don't think. But now I'm trying to bring it here, and starting with Bristol Warren, this area, start to bring some of Gloria Gemma's services. And one of those services is getting the Hope bus here too, once a month. That way people will recognize the bus, they'll see it, and if they know somebody that's been diagnosed or they're diagnosed, they know that we're here and we're there to help in any way we can. And we're starting some services. We're going to have yoga and healing arts. I hope to start a healing arts program. So I'm hoping to do that within the next month or so, get that rolling. And the biggest thing that we're doing is the Hope Garden. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's really going to be, I think people will know after the Hope Garden is put in who Gloria Gemma is and what they can do and how they can help. And I'm hoping that, you know, that they'll do me honor by not letting that die out. I've only started something, and it's up to everybody else to make that into what it's supposed to be and to make it bigger. I was just used as the catalyst for it all. So it's up to everybody. And the more people that we help, you know, the more people who live longer lives. And hopefully they'll have a cure for this down the road too. But it starts off with people caring about another person.